think climbing is hands down the most empowering space that I've ever encountered for myself. It's taught me how to get to know myself, and it's something that will always bring out what's going on in your personal life. You cannot hide from yourself when you climb. So any grief that I'm feeling, insecurity, stress that I'm feeling, it comes to the surface when I climb. So climbing for me has been the best way and process for me to understand who I am and what's going on and what I want to improve in myself. And also it's really fun, so that helps a lot.
I feel like I like everything about climbing. I think that one of my favorite things about climbing is physically it feels good to just like try really hard, and then like emotionally it feels good when you've been trying really hard and like feels like just like banging your head against the wall, and then you like finally succeed and you're like, yes. Feels so good. But I also really love like the social aspect of it. As an adult, all of my friends are climbers, so it's like really the only way that I've like, it's my community, you know. It's some people go to church and like I go to the climbing gym.
What I like best about climbing is just how it combines so many things. Like it's a sport, a physical activity, it's also a social thing to do, to hang out with friends and meet new people, and it's also very mental, trying to piece together the puzzle and figure out how you need to move your body to get to the next hold. And it's just something where when you're climbing, you're very present and you're in that moment and you're not thinking about anything else. And when you get in that flow state, that's something really special.
Easy. Nice, there you go.
Well, I guess I got into climbing because my older brother was doing it, so he took me to the gym during the summer of, I don't know, my sophomore year of high school, and you know, it all kind of kicked off from there.
Yeah, so I always kind of had this interest in climbing just because I really liked the outdoors, and I would see rock walls and be really intrigued by them, and I knew about climbing, and it just seemed like something that was really cool. But I didn't really know how to get into it on my own, and so I had all these crazy ideas. So yeah, I didn't really know what I was doing, but I like went out and bought a bunch of gear. Like I bought a rope, I bought a harness, I bought some shoes, and I was gonna take all of this out and go rock climbing, but I needed a partner. So the only person that was crazy enough to do this with me was much heavier than me, and we didn't know how we were gonna deal with the weight difference. So we had an idea to just like use rocks to decrease the weight difference, which was really silly. It never ended up doing it, thank goodness.
When I really got into climbing was in 2008. It was my senior year of high school, and I was dating this guy, and he was getting into climbing, and he invited me to go to the climbing gym, and I was like, okay, that sounds really fun. So I went, and I was like, this is awesome. It was so fun, and I used to be a gymnast too, so the bouldering really spoke to me on that level. So he went off to college in Oregon, and I just kept climbing.
Sometimes there's this feeling you get that's like, this isn't just like someone who wants beta or wants a spot or wants something else. And then you get the like, hey, wanna go for coffee? I'm like, no thanks, I'm not interested. And they're like, oh, okay, can I have your number? I'm like, no. I'm just here to climb. I don't need beta. I don't need a date. I don't want to go for drinks. I'm just here to climb. I don't need to, like, I think it's more of that, it's not an uncommon thing for, I feel like, people to experience, but it's, you know, I just want to go climb just like anybody else.
I've definitely had some more negative experiences with certain people climbing, and it was just a couple guys that were just very condescending, very standoffish, not supportive at all, making comments about how one shouldn't need a spotter while we were climbing a high ball that had a dangerous fall, and making comments about how, oh, if I expressed like that I was nervous to do a climb, that, well, I was going to automatically do terrible because of that, and just all sorts of like negativity that I don't want to be around when I'm climbing. It's like the opposite of a safe space, so.
I mean, I have a ton of examples and memories of feeling uncomfortable in my climbing spaces. Obviously, I have a little bit more of an extreme end of the story where, you know, I did go through assault via someone that was very well known in the community and was a developer and was my mentor. So I have that aspect of it. But absolutely, I think as women, we are easily sexualized in climbing spaces. I've been called a crag bunny before. I have had unwanted beta given to me by men. I have been harassed for what I was wearing or what I was climbing. Absolutely. Like, first of all, there are good people in every single type of sport, but there are also assholes in every type of sport. And historically, climbing has been male dominated. The narrative of climbing has historically been written by men. So coming into a male-dominated space as a woman, you are absolutely going to experience discomfort and harassment being in the sport.
And so AZWCC specifically focuses on women and genderqueer people, but also really excited about all the other forms of diversity and helping people feel, all types of people feel welcome in the climbing community. To me, it's about encouraging diversity in climbing and ensuring that everyone feels welcomed and has a safe place in the climbing community.
And I remember at that meeting, I can't remember who exactly it was, but two of the women were like, it would be so cool if one day this was a nonprofit. And I was like, I just want to climb with other women. This is a little intense. But, you know, we just started it. You know, we hosted No Man's Land that year just to get people kind of talking about what we were doing. We came up with the Arizona Women's Climbing Coalition name. And it just, everyone loved it.
Well, I got involved with the Women's Climbing Coalition because I helped start it. So, way back before AZWCC existed, I guess not way back, I started this women's climbing group at Black Rock called Boulder Broads. Around the same time, some other women's climbing groups were popping up at different gyms. So I think Focus had Focus Femmes. Krista Meldy over at AZR talked to me about, she kind of wanted to start her own thing at AZR, but she was like not too sure if she wanted to do that, or she's like, well, maybe we should start a whole thing for the state. And I was like, you're speaking my language.
So I'm one of the original founders. I was working in climbing gyms up until 2018, and I remember just feeling this immense grief for what had happened to me. I was struggling with my own experience and my own recovery, and one of the issues that I was struggling with the most was knowing that in the current format of how the community was going at the time, that it could and undoubtedly would happen again. Whether it was that my abuser came back into the community or it was somebody else, that there weren't protective spaces, the gyms didn't have strict enough policies at the time, and I quit the gym, and with a group of other women that had similar values, that were in it for their own reasons, we all shared this similar values and set of mission, the AZWCC was born over beers.
My advice would be to remember to have fun, because that I think is the most important thing, and I think will, kind of carry you forward from there. I would also say, learn from more experienced people, whether that's through just watching them, or, climbing with more experienced people. Feel free to come to one of the monthly meetups at one of AZWCC's monthly meetups, or even any community meetup with the other community organizations. Climbing with people you can learn from other people really well, and a lot of times you can find people that you can relate to as well, and you can work on projects and such together.
What advice would I give women interested in getting into climbing? I would say to just start, go to a climbing gym. I mean, if they're local to Phoenix, I of course would recommend coming to one of our meetups, since we have so many at a bunch of different gyms in Phoenix and in Tucson. That's definitely a great way to get started, to have some other women kind of help you feel safe and kind of show you what to do and things like that. But I say just, go to a climbing gym and just start climbing.
I would say if you're interested in getting into climbing, try to wrangle a friend to come with you, or go to like a women's meetup or something, because it can be really intimidating to go by yourself, especially when there's just like dudes at the gym being broy. I think that like the community is great, and like once you start talking to people, you realize that, there's a lot of really cool people here.
Don't hesitate, do it. It is a very fun sport, and it is for all body types. It is for, all body types, all ages. Just try it. And if you're unsure what to expect, go to the gym, talk to the employees, walk around, talk to people. It's hard to do. A lot of gyms these days have like intro to climbing classes, which I think are great. They're a great opportunity for people to learn the basics, meet some new people who are clearly also just getting in, meet people that way, and like utilize those resources that you meet right away. That is one of the great things about climbing becoming more popular, is that there are so many more resources for people getting into climbing.
Do it. Believe in yourself. Know that you are absolutely capable of doing it, and chase spaces that are made for you. So women-oriented climbing spaces are a fantastic place to find other mentors and learn how to climb with other women. It's a unique experience as a woman, and I think that it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it.